Hey guys, it's me, Christopher, and I wanted to make a quick video for you guys once again on a Monday talking about how Conor McGregor could make the greatest comeback in sporting history. Now, I know that me saying that as of now, like, that sounds fucking crazy, you know what I mean? Considering that, okay, Conor might not be who he once was. You know what I mean? He might not be the same fighter he was when he fought Eddie Alvarez to become the lightweight champion and champion in two different weight divisions, right? But obviously we all age, you know what I mean? Like time is undefeated, time is your biggest enemy, and not just in sports or combat sports, but in anything in general. You know what I mean? Time is eventually gonna not only catch up to you, but it is going to change you, and time is eventually going to kill you, right? But with that being said, we got to take into account how time really changes us, Like, Connor, he's changed a lot in the past 5 years since, he won against Eddie Alvarez. And, 5 years, even though, like, if you're living through it, you know what I mean? Doing what Connor did, for example, 5 years not might not seem like a long time, but 5 years is 5 years, 5 years can take a lot out of somebody, you know what I mean? And I like to think that it took a lot out of Connor, and this is a guy that's aged. This is a guy that's, changed, you know what I mean? This is a guy that's had his circumstances, you know what I mean, change just like compared to like the kid he once was in Dublin, you know what I mean, struggling to make ends meet, you know what I mean, trying to make a name for himself, and obviously we don't we can't stay a specific version of ourselves forever. We're obviously all gonna fucking change eventually, you know what I mean, but who are we gonna change into, you know what I mean? Are we gonna change into just a version of ourselves that everyone else can be happy with, or are we going to change it to a version of ourselves that we ourselves can be happy with? And I think that with Conor McGregor, for example, if we want to take into account, okay, with the Dustin fights, right? His last two fights with Dustin Poirier leading up, obviously, to the trilogy. It's like the first one, you know what I mean? Like, that was very, like, early in Conor's UFC career, and it was the fight that was gonna make him, like, prove to all the naysayers and the doubters that he's for real, and he knocked Dustin out in one round like he said he was gonna do. I'm gonna knock Dustin Poirier out in one round, and he did it. And that's when everyone took him serious. Yeah, there were still some doubters, but Connor shut all of them up when he knocked out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, and when he beat Eddie Alvarez for the lightweight belt and becoming the double champ. And I think if you take all of that into account, obviously the kid that did all those things is very different to the man that's just sitting at the top, you know what I mean, that decided to rematch Dustin Poirier. He was very respectful in that fight, right? And after he lost to Dustin Poirier in the rematch, something changed within Conor, you know what I mean? Something clicked in his head where he almost relapsed into, you know, that chaos he was in, you know what I mean? That pool of darkness that he was in. And I think I never thought Connor, especially in his prime, never thought he was a dark person, you know what I mean? But, you know, I think everyone, the whole world saw that darkness when, the whole Habib situation happened, with the bus, press conference, the fight itself, and, the fact the beef is still ongoing to this day. Like, you know, I think there's darkness that runs in the hearts of everybody, that dark line that runs in the hearts of all man. You know what I mean? And I think with Connor, he's not any different. But it's up to us to decide, like, you know, why should I be this person just to, like, why should I, like, okay, it's the fight business, right? Yeah, we could say it's the fight business, the fucking her business, right? But why should I, like, lack humility to my opponent. At the very least, like if we're gonna be fucking scrapping, doing what we do, you know what I mean? Like whatever, you know what I'm saying? But fucking we at least owe each other humility as human beings, right? Why was Conor lacking his humility to Dustin in the third fight? Well, it's because he had that chaos in him. He had that darkness in him. And I think when Conor broke his leg, that should be a big wake up call to a man that's not been the best version of himself, the best version of himself that once had the respect of everybody in the whole world that watched him. You know what I mean? And I think that the message, the positivity that we can at least get from Conor as of today, like, yeah, he's talking shit on Twitter and yada, yada, yada. But the one positive we can say about someone like Conor McGregor, especially like how he is today, is, you know what I mean? If he's going to plan this big comeback, if he is going to really consider becoming champion once again and be respected, more importantly, he has to first focus on how he is as a person, be the best version of himself before he can be the best in the whole world. And I think the message we can get from that is, if I want to be great at anything, like me, I want to be champion. You know what I mean? If I want to be champion, I have to be the best version of myself. You know what I mean? To the people around me, to the people that I love, to the people that support me, I have to be the best version of myself. Because if I'm not the best version of myself, then how can I do this? And I think Conor McGregor, he is gonna be the best version of himself come next year. And I think Conor McGregor, with the right adjustments and with the right attitude, the right mindset, if he really applies himself to it, he can do it. And whatever you set your mind to, whatever attitude you wake up with, that's the attitude you're going to have at the end of it, the end of the journey that you set out because you wanted it. You have it now. What's your attitude like? Better be a damn good one, that's for sure. So I think Conor McGregor is going to come back. And when he comes back, I hope he's back on a big trajectory. So, Motivational Mondays, let's get it.